All right, hello, welcome after the lunch break. We hope you enjoyed your lunches, your ice cream, and your views on the themes. Now it's time for me to introduce our next speaker of the day, Mr. John Hughes. John is a VP of Product at Hyvä, overseeing the output and development of all of Hyvä's product offerings. He's a certified Magento solution architect who's passionate about performant e-commerce sites, exceptional user experience, and helping developers and merchants get the most out of their platform. Please help me welcome John.
All right. Cheers, afternoon all. Hope you've got your coffee, feeling refreshed after the lunch. I'm going to try and wake you up. What you need to know about me, as I already said, I'm the VP of Product at Hyvä. I've been working with Magento for a long, long time, probably too long. I've got a bit of obsession with the colour orange. I mean, why else would a grown man, other than peer pressure, be wearing an orange cape on stage? It's probably going to fall off at some point, but we'll see. Right, we're going to do a little bit of overview of all things Hyvä about us. But first off, who has heard of us or is already working with us? Quick show of hands. Quite a few, that's good. All right, great. Okay, so we are Hyvä. It's a Finnish word. It means good, desirable, and trustworthy. Our aim is to enable you to build the fastest storefronts with reduced development time and costs. Our slogan is e-commerce made happy for that reason. There we go. We founded in 2020 in the Netherlands. We launched our theme a year later, and last year we launched a checkout UI and enterprise as well. We've now a team of 14 in 6 different countries. That includes 4 of us based here in the UK, which is great. So quickly, just our products. So we've got our theme, the one that started it all. Got rid of all the bloat of Luma, Knockout, and jQuery and everything. Started with a nice, clean, minimal base with Alpine and Tailwind. We've got our UI library. Sorry, those are not my notes, hang on. We've got our UI library. It's full of great components that you can quickly copy and paste into your theme, saving countless hours. They're beautifully designed, fully functional. We have a Figma file that goes with it as well. It's just a few examples. No, there's no examples. Okay, this is behind slightly. Okay, right, great. So these are the examples of a few of the components. We've got plenty on there. So modals, content blocks, PDP stuff, all sorts. And we're adding more all the time. And the best part about it is it's free with a license for our Hyvä theme. Next, we have our checkout. Again, reimagined from the ground up, built using MageWire. Gets rid of all the bloat of Luma. It's about 13 times faster. It comes with multiple different layouts. So this is like a slide behind again, one-step layout. We've also got multi-step as well. So it means it's never been easier to build, maintain, and customize your checkout as it is now. We've also got support for multiple major BSPs, and we're adding more and more all of the time. Lastly, but not least, we have Hyvä Enterprise. This is our Adobe Commerce offering. So things like gift cards, customer segments, reward points, but also all of the B2B suite, live search, product recommendations, and these are covered for both our theme and our checkout, bringing the same performance and best practice. Just a couple of screenshots of this. So not the most exciting B2B stuff, but we've got company accounts, quotes, purchase orders, and live search. So we've got 4 products with one vision to create better storefronts for Magento open source and Adobe Commerce. However, it's not just about us or our products. A massive part of what makes Hyvä special is all of you, our ecosystem. We've got now over 3,500 sites live in the wild in 70 different countries with over 7,000 developers now using our product, nearly 5,000 in our Slack community. 700 plus agencies, and this year we relaunched our partner program. And in the UK, we've got 30 partners, or nearly 30 partners, sorry, all different tiers, as you can see by the lovely badges there. So that's the second most partners after the Netherlands. So it's pretty impressive stuff, given consider the Netherlands is where we are founded and based. We're also continuing adding extension compatibility from the ecosystem. We've now got over 1,000 extensions. That's nearly quite over double from last year. We'll continue to add major new partnerships all of the time. Back on those sites, so that's nearly double the amount of live sites we had this time last year, and that was double itself again last year. So things are looking good from that point of view, and the UK makes up about 10% of that of the sites live. So it's the third biggest territory after the Netherlands and the US. If we look at that by rank on using built with data, in the top 1 million and 100,000, we have tripled the numbers in the last year alone. So that's great, and we've now got 3 sites in the top 10K as well. And all that means now as well that we're now one of the top 25 e-commerce technologies in the world. We actually outrank full platforms, things like Commerce Tools, Cilius, Spryker, even OS Commerce. Yeah, it's going back a bit. Given that we're in London, here's just a few of the brands that we have with presence here in the capital. Right, but we are here to talk technical, so let's get down to business, if you like. So why do we believe simplicity is so important? For building better storefronts? To start that, we have to kind of, for me, go back a bit and look at things that have changed over the last 5, 6, 7, 8, however many years. I'm getting old and been doing this too long. So I think we can all agree Luma was never the best architected front end. It certainly wasn't performant or particularly fun to work with. And a lot of the new technologies that came out around that time as well, they were getting more and more complex. And if I'm honest, I was agency side at that time. And I was kind of at a loss with the front end options available. It just didn't really fit the merchants' needs that we had. They're right for some potentially, but yeah, for us it just wasn't right. And they all kind of dreamed of a better future, but it ended up being the merchants, the developers, the agencies that felt the pain. So the worst part for me is that before we kind of invented all these new buzzwords, I don't particularly believe that many merchants were asking if they've got a bit of a format issue here, but hopefully you can see. Merchants didn't particularly ask for things like headless, PWA, microservices, composable, delivery on the edge, or that shiny new JavaScript framework. They may be good in the right use case, but most of the time, potentially not. Whereas things that they probably did ask for, or we know that they asked for, are performance, increase in conversion and revenue, everyone loves money, lower development costs, quicker time to market, and less hassle overall. And the key thing is that nobody really asked for a revolution, and we're not here to offer one. We believe we're evolutionary. That's our goal, and we want to try and create the front end that we feel Magento 2 should have always had from the start. So what makes us a little bit different? We believe that not everyone wants to be a JavaScript or SPA developer. We know that there's a massive ecosystem of all of you out there already that love working with the Magento stack and would like to continue to do so. We think that things shouldn't cost a fortune, and we don't think things need to be overly complex. I'm sure all of you have seen this or a variation of this at some point. Keep it simple. But what do we actually mean by that? For me, it's kind of like a mindset or a way of thinking. So it's not purely about less. Obviously, lean and minimal is good, especially from a code point of view. Sometimes duplication can be the answer. But for me, the key part is that it needs to be logical. So we're talking about code. It should be easy to understand, easy to maintain, following best practices. It should be readable. You shouldn't need a PhD or a master's degree to use the stack. And all of that comes back to our ethos of e-commerce made happy. And when you get that right, this is what it should be like to build and run a website. It should be the norm, not an aspiration. However, it's obviously too positive, so let's bring it back a bit. Even with a simple solution, sometimes you can get knocked down, and you need to get back, dust yourself off, and get back up again. So let's see what's changed in the world of performance and what new techniques we've been working on and things that we have to offer. So first off, we look back at Core Web Vitals data from last year. Over half of Hyvä sites that are in the wild were passing Core Web Vitals, which is double the number of standard Magento. But obviously, things changed earlier this year. Google like to move things around, and we said goodbye to first input delay, and said hello to interaction to next paint. And even we're not immune from things like that. It did have an impact on our metrics. We went down to probably about 40%. We're now back up to 45% and steadily growing again. So yeah, what have we been doing to try and help mitigate this? Let's have a look and dig into some of the tech. So this is an example of the frustration you might feel with something like IMP, Interaction to Next Paint, when you're not getting response from the input that you make. We've got a new tool called, new Alpine directive called xdefer, which allows you to essentially lazy load JavaScript computation of Alpine components. That's a long sentence. And it specifically addresses IMP. There's different strategies that you can use to implement this. We'll have a look at one in a second. We've got intersect, so for example, scrolling down, interact for like a click or a tap, idle just when the browser's ready, or even a custom event that you might pass. Yeah. So all of that means reduced compute time and quicker time to interactivity. So yeah, it is a lazy loading strategy. Like I mentioned, you might be wondering why you wouldn't just lazy load the entire section. For example, if you think of like a product slider, the benefits there would be the markup still on the page, you've still got the SEO benefit, and you're not loading a whole section in and potentially causing layout shifts later. Okay, so let's have a look at this in action. It's already on our demo store. If we look at this product here, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. You're just going to have to believe me. We've got a product slider section halfway down the homepage. It's got swatches. We've now on the swatch HTML DOM element. We've got an xdefer. We've got intersect in this case. I'm also going to note that this is product number ID 340. And it's got another method called init show swatches intersect. So if we simulate a page run and use the performance tab to see what's going on, we're going to fall off the stage. We're going to move this way a little bit. Yeah, we can drill in and see what JavaScript functions are being called. And if we do that on initial page load, and I don't know if you can see this, you look for the filter by swatch, there's no results essentially. Whereas if in this instance the user's waiting about 5 seconds, then they're scrolling down the page, this element comes into the viewport. And again, we look at this JS call stack and we look at the methods, we can see that they're there. So we're just deferring JavaScript computation. All it is, but it's very effective. As you can see here, we went up 10 Lighthouse points on our demo store just by implementing this. We know Lighthouse isn't the end goal, but for us, we want to make sure we've got a great base to give you. If we drill into that a little bit more, if you're doing this as a developer, you can use the new loaf API to properly look into interactions, but I'm being lazy here. The total blocking time is still a decent enough metric in this instance for me to show you the difference between the two. So that's pretty nice. We're happy with that. So how have we made it simple for you? We've got the multiple strategies that I mentioned. We've got different ways of implementing. You can put it directly in the markup in a template, or you can actually use a selector via layout, XML, or config to target an element, and it'll automatically apply it for you. Furthermore, it's available in the latest version of our theme. We've got default config rules for selectors, so if you upgrade, you don't even need to worry about updating your template files. We've taken care of it for you. Excuse me. There's lots of things it's implemented for. I'm not going to go through all of them here. We've also got a code snippet that you can use, if you wish, without even needing to upgrade at all. We have a how-to guide that you can look at. So that's that one. So next, let's really, really quickly look at speculation rules, instant page loads. So these improve performance by pre-rendering the page, giving you an instant load. So imagine opening a tab in the background, and then when you're ready, you switch to it. It's just completely instant, and it gates so many of the core web vitals metrics. It's based on user intent, so when you hover over a link, for example, and you can provide pattern matching to decide which URLs within the HTML document to target. Okay, so we've got this implemented on our actual site, not a demo site. You can see this or not. We've got a section where we've got all the rules. We've got a new script type, and we've got our eagerness set to moderate, which is about 200 milliseconds. You can change that as you wish. This is the bit where we see if videos are going to work. Maybe not. Oh, maybe. So we can see here, if we scroll over some links, we've got some successes. We can use the new application tab to see our speculation rules, see what's been triggered and what's ready. So we've got 18 in total that have been matched on this page. If I skip to the next one quickly. Oh, I've gone past it. If we click. All right, that video's not going to work, don't worry. So this is already a fairly performant page, especially on desktop, but essentially using speculation rules completely negates the core web vitals almost entirely. So our largest contentful paint, first contentful paint, and time to first byte are all essentially gone, which is incredible. And even though it's not affected on this page, if you did have layout shifts or interactivity problems that happen during the page load, again, they'd be completely negated by these rules. So it feels a little bit like cheating, but it's good. We've made this simple. We've added default rules. It's easy to customize with a template. You can enable it and disable it from the admin panel. It's available in our theme. And again, we have a code snippet. Again, we have docs and a tutorial video. And we also got a nice mention on Run Vision's webinar with Barry Pollard about this topic as well. If you want to watch that too, definitely worth checking out. OK, quickly, because I am going to run out of time. Server-side rendering, maybe not the coolest thing in 2024, but it's still relevant. So what I want to talk about quickly is B2B. So somebody at some point at Magento thought it would be a good idea to build all of the B2B grids tables in Knockout and UI components. So when we're on a slightly slower connection, we've got this lovely smell. So when I first turned up at Hyvä last year to look at building out the enterprise, this was my reaction. So what have we done? We have just made it part of the main page response. It's just server-side rendered collections. There's no wait for Ajax requests, no loaders, massive speed gains on slower connections. Have a quick look at the difference. So on a slow 4G, it's nearly 10 seconds on Luma. With ours, it's 5 times faster. It's under 2 seconds. And this isn't necessarily relevant, but I just want to point that out. That is 10 megabyte of resources to load a table on a page. It's just something else. So we've made this simple by just implementing it across all of our grids in Enterprise. I'm going to skip this for time. But yeah, easy to extend, easy to use, no JavaScript. Nice and simple. All right, lastly, really, really quickly, so we can move on to the final bits. We have our JavaScript page registry. So this is a way to defer rendering of JavaScript code. So it's based on dependencies. You use it like you would use a view model. You put it in the template, and it will conditionally load another block or template that you specify when that one does. So it's a good way to defer JavaScript. And we've done this in our default implementation for Page Builder. So now on a given page, if there's no Page Builder elements, you now have 500 less lines of JavaScript code, which is great, especially given as I wrote most of that code way back. And it's also available in the latest version of Hyvä. We have doc as well. Last one quickly, checkout steps. Previously, this was all stored in a session. All the data for which steps are available. Now we do it via a query parameter. It's made a massive saving in memory usage. We only launched this last week. I don't have any real data or metrics to share. But yeah, it's also meant that we've actually added browser navigation to the checkout for the first time. So if you go shipping, payment, go back in the browser, correctly works, which is great. And like I say, came out in our release last week. So those two are nice and simple, but effective. All right, quick break, quick pause, quick drink. Right, let's have a look at what's changed since last year and what's coming up next. So first off, we don't do deadlines. Do not hold us to any of this. Right, our theme, we had a great accessibility release last year thanks to our partners at Snowdog. We've got the X-Defer, the speculation rules, the JS page registry. We're currently looking at multi-page application view transitions as an experimental feature. And there are other things coming with our theme, but you'll have to watch this space. With our UI, we've done layered navigation, including Elastic Suite, loads of stuff on the product detail page, galleries and more, mini cart, Ajax adds a cart, and loads more, including accessibility too. We're now looking at an order success page, an error page, and a cart variations and more, and I've got a little sneak peek of those from our designer, Danny, who's kindly shared with me. So there's an order success page and a cart variation, so they should be available soon. Checkout, we built a standalone login component, moving the email address out of the shipping form. We've been working hard on address finders and autocomplete to standardize them. We've got the improved step navigation I mentioned. We're working on Adobe Payment Services. Got more architecture enhancements. We'd like to look at standalone Luma support. And we're working really hard ongoing to improve documentation and training. These are just a few examples of the autocomplete services we're working with that have been built either by us or by some of our lovely partners. Lastly, enterprise. B2B, we've done all of the themes, most of the checkout. That should be very imminent. We've done live search, product recommendations. We've done almost all of the commerce features, just a few left. We want to look at more B2B customizations to make things easier for you, and also the B2B 1.5 release when it comes out later in the year. Right, and that's everything. So for one more little thing, and I will have to be fast because I've only got a minute. So I'm sure many of you have seen or heard about EDS, Edge Delivery Services, commerce drop-ins, and document-based authoring with Adobe Experience Manager from Adobe. You might have seen this kind of sample page that's used. Let's appreciate AEM is only suitable for merchants of a very large size, but a question that we've had around merchants at that end is, should we use EDS or should we use Hyvä? And our response is, well, why not both? So most EDS sites currently live are using PWA Studio for the cart and the checkout and some of the account area in some cases. So we thought, why don't we try and integrate Hyvä instead? So that's what we've been working on. I don't have a demo to show you today, it's just a screenshot. With the help of our partner at Next 98 Atlantic, that's what we've been doing, a prototype. It is fully working. We will share something soon. But yeah, it'll have a integrated menu and cart across the two, so content from AEM, commerce from Hyvä, enterprise, all running under a single domain. So, like I say, come and see, keep your eyes peeled. Shout out to Vinay, Christian Munch, and other people that have been working on that. Right, I am done. Wrap up. I'm out of time. Can I have 1 minute to wrap up? Sorry. I'll be really quick. So, merchants, think about what it is you actually want to achieve rather than being sold picking the solution. Think about what you're actually trying to achieve. Devs, be really cautious about the solution that you are using to achieve your merchant's goals. And if you want better performance, faster delivery, lower costs, and a stack that's enjoyable to work with, believe in simplicity. Hopefully that will lead to commerce happiness. If you don't believe me, we've got some great stats. Come and talk to us at the marketplace. Same if you've got any questions, come and speak to us. Right, last two really quick things. So just commitment from us. When the performance goalposts do shift from Google or whoever else, we got your back. We're going to keep working to maintain and improve your performance. And to kind of reiterate what Eric said in the keynote this morning, Magento is life for us. If that's the same for you, come and get involved in the community. There are lots and lots of great initiatives. All right, that's it. Thank you for your time. Thank you for believing in us and helping us get where we are.